Hello, this is the Phallic Philosopher coming back for video number 3. I am the Phallic Philosopher because I'm a bit of a dick, and my deep thoughts will penetrate your mind. Uh, this installment here may seem a little different in tone because normally I'm about 3 sheets to the wind. Evidently, I wind up drinking way too much when I do, and I'm not the most pleasant person to be around, so I'm trying to knock it off. So, anyway, today I'm going to try and tackle a question that people have asked throughout the millennia. I don't really know. And take everything I say with a grain of salt. I don't know anything. But what I like to try and do is take a question of metaphysical nature or abstract nature, and I like to try and apply a logic that I have gained through my life and try and pose a potential answer. So, the question today is, what is the meaning of life? Now, I've already tried a couple videos here on this subject, and I have a hell of a time not going off on a rant because I could talk about this shit all day. But there's only so many hours in the day, and I don't really feel like spending the whole day doing this. I'm sure you don't feel like spending the whole day listening to shit neither, so I'm gonna try and keep this as concise as possible. In an effort to do so, I wrote this down the other day, and I'm gonna try and stick to the script. I may make some changes here to the wording if I see something on here that maybe I didn't articulate as well as I might think I would have liked to, or I might just read this shit out like this, and it might just be what it is. Anyway, here we go. So, life is an expression of intelligence. Each form of life is devised by a different degree of intelligence. Living beings are designed to explore the potential of a moment. Through these explorations, information is obtained, and any useful information will be utilized by the intelligence tied to that specific form to modify or improve on the design that it has created. The potential of intelligence is limited to the capability of the form it resides in. As human beings, we are the manifestations of the most complex form of intelligence that has existed on Earth. Now, for sake of argument, let's just say that that's true, because I really don't know. And as we advance, intelligence advances with us. What we label as God is really just the intelligence that, slapped together some human DNA. That's the intelligence that we owe our existence to. So this is the intelligence that we worship. But the intelligence that created us is not what has created all life. What we label as God and what actually may deserve the moniker of God was actually the least complex, the least experienced, and least capable form of intelligence that has inhabited the planet. But that's because it was the first. When you got a single-celled organism or just a primordial sludge, as you will, it's not doing a whole lot. It's not experiencing a whole lot. It's not able to obtain a whole lot of data. So, it may have been the first form of life, but it wasn't doing much of anything, so it couldn't do much. It didn't know much. It was learning. Just like a baby's born a blank slate, that's how life in general started, I would imagine. So, anyway, being that it was the least capable and least intelligent, it still deserves a lion's share of the credit for anything that goes on the planet. It kicked it off. So that's God. If you want to call anything God, that's God. But it's not. God is not all knowing. Intelligence learns to us. Okay, so the behavior of a life form mirrors the intelligence that engineered it. This is why we learn and progress the way we do. So we start out as a baby. We got a very basic program, and we learn as we experience things. This is just the way intelligence. This is a natural curve that intelligence follows. It starts out ignorant, experiences things, collects data, organizes it, and forms a perspective or a strategy to either enhance its own survival or, well, I guess that's probably all it does. Enhance its survival or change the way it does so. Alright, let's say that. And, okay. So everything else works that way. Everything follows the same curve that intelligence does. We just happen to be capable of higher levels of intelligence. And now this is where we run into an issue. We shouldn't judge things based on their intellectual superiority. We should judge them based on their success and how efficiently they're able to apply their level of intelligence to the world that surrounds them. So, we're the most complex creatures on the planet. But, ants are very efficient. This cat behind me, put him outside, he's going to survive. They know how to do these things. To be any smarter, let's say for a baby bird, right? A bird. If a baby bird was any smarter than it is, you think it would be able to open its mouth and let its mom or dad puke into its mouth? I mean, can't be that smart and survive in that way. So, alright. To go on now, and now this is here where I kind of get off track a little bit, I think. I should have saved this for another subject, I don't know. But, anyway, consciousness is basically an artificial intelligence created by the true intelligence that actually constructed the machines we operate. So basically, as human beings, any life form, we're kind of like self-driving cars as far as I can tell. Because you can make a car, but you can't be a car. You see? You can drive a car, but after a while, you're going to just want to keep driving that shit all the time. You see? So then you got self-driving cars. Basically, consciousness is a program designed to operate the machines that our intelligences use to gather information. So that shit's just sitting in the back seat. A lot of this we dream because that's just intelligence working through shit. Sifting through the data, trying to find something of value as far as I can tell. But again, now I'm going off the script here. Okay, so all data is valuable to intelligence, and it's indifferent to the outcomes of the machine it has created and resides in at any given moment. That indifference is crucial to the pursuit of data, because if intelligence cared what happened to its machines, we wouldn't be able to get into the kind of shit that we do. So, we wouldn't be able to make mistakes. We wouldn't be able to do dumb shit. And see, that's where free will comes into play, as it comes up in the Bible and everything. People have been aware of these things for, as long as people have existed. We've been working with the same brains as soon as we came onto the planet. Modern man has always had a brain that they have now. They just didn't have the experience. They didn't have the there weren't the generations that preceded them to gather the information. You know, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, right? We're standing on the lives of millions and billions and maybe trillions of people. I don't know. But all these people figured so much of this shit out beforehand. But what I'm saying is that the first human beings that existed were just as smart as we are now. They just didn't have the base, the knowledge base that we have, that other people have assembled for us now. So, yeah, so anyways, basically I was saying that machines don't give a shit what happens to us, or intelligence doesn't. We're just out here just running around, running off of the basic program that was installed when we were being formed. When we're born, we experience things. Our experiences update our program, and then that allows us to operate, you know, in different ways. However, those experiences have rewritten our program to whatever degree. Okay, and so indifference is crucial to the pursuit of data because failed efforts provide just as much information as successful ones do. More so, even sometimes. And but intelligence has installed some fail safes in the machines it has created to prevent them from self-destructing. But those fail safes are not foolproof. Sometimes a life or a consciousness can achieve supremacy over the intelligence that resides in it. It can override the program. Now, this is a taboo because it goes against the program that most all life forms abide by. What it proves, though, is that change can occur in spite of an overwhelming majority. Social change may be regarded as a taboo by the majority of its members, but it can happen. Change is reviled, but that's because it's kind of a representation of social suicide. It's like dying. Anytime you change, you die a little bit, and you're reborn slightly different. So any kind of change. This is why xenophobia is such an issue. This is why races don't get along, because they share different cultural backgrounds. Different things mean different things to them. They tie different traditions, different foods, different words to their childhood. And our childhood is when things are the most vivid, the most attractive, the newest, the most beautiful. Things are never as beautiful as they are when you're a kid, or at least they should be. Things are still magical, you see, and we hold that in high esteem. And so anyway, I'm going off on a tangent again, but anyways, so that's cultural. These are cultural things. Any change, you undergo a psychic death. When you're a little kid, you get past a certain age, you can't really remember anything beyond, most people, I would say, is probably like 4 or 5. You can't really remember what you were like back then, because that version of you, that part of your psyche is dead and buried, and your current self is built on top of that shit. You're not the same person you were. Now, the experiences you experienced when you were a very small child, now they laid the foundation for the intellectual being you were to become, but that part of you was dead. So, for people to change, they've got to die a little bit. And that's scary, because that's the last thing anybody wants to do is die. This is what drives everything in the world, the fear of death. So, a fear of change is very close relative to the fear of death. I mean, it's almost the same thing. So, anyway, alright, so basically, what I'm saying is that any kind of changes that we make, especially on a wide scale, is going to be perceived or regarded as like a mass suicide. You know, it's a psychic death. It'll be a psychic suicide because we be changing. We'd have to reevaluate the things around us. We'd have to attach different values on the different things. We'd have to change our behaviors. We'd have to view ourselves differently and then be different. So basically, the choices we're faced with as a species is that of a physical death or a psychic death. We can't survive either. Because either we're going to kill ourselves off and just be gone, or we're going to have to commit psychic suicide and become better versions of ourselves. And that won't leave us as we are. We'll be humans, but we'll just be a better version. So you might have to call them something else. So we choose the psychic suicide or psychic death. Maybe the better aspects of our nature will be left behind, and there'll still be things that look like us going about their day, but they'll be doing it in a better way. They'll be doing it in a way that actually makes the world more beautiful as opposed to destroying it. Now, there are so many things that I think we add to existence. I mean, art. We can make all kinds of things. We write songs, we compose music, we paint paintings, we make sculptures. These are things that wouldn't exist if we weren't here. And I think they do add to the value of reality. But, if we're killing everything to enable ourselves to have the leisure time to do all that, I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. And hopefully I didn't ramble too much. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope maybe it'll stimulate your mind, your brain a little bit. Maybe it'll provoke some new thoughts. And maybe you'll look at the world and look at yourself a little more different. I don't know. But anyway, you have a nice day. Till the next time, take care of yourself. Alright, bye.